Hello, thank you very much for taking a look at this channel, my channel. Brand new channel. I don't know what to call it. We'll come up with something. But today I just want to take a look at this. The Lumix GM-1, which has been my constant companion for about 2 years now. A superb little Lumix camera, now discontinued, but there are some bargains to be had out there second hand, so well worth tracking down. Now, the first time I saw this was at a talk at the photography show, and I couldn't believe how small it was. I've used Lumix cameras since the G1. I had years and years of using them as a backup to my working kit of Nikon. And increasingly lately, I've been using the Lumix with the Nikon more and more and more. And when this came out, I thought, here's something that I can really slip into the camera bag and use with my Nikon kit. And that's what I've done. In my work as an editorial photographer, I'm increasingly asked to shoot videos with news stories and interviews. Just little short clips, just for the web, nothing too clever really. But this just slips neatly into the little corner of my Billingham Hadley bag, which has only a couple of lenses, and gives me a really high quality camera. The great thing about it is it's so small. It's absolutely tiny with this amazing kit lens, this 12 to 32 lens, which people think kit lenses, they're not up to much, but this one is really sharp. And of course at 12 to 32, that's the equivalent of 24 to 60 or so, is a really useful range, far more so than some other sort of 14mm or 28mm starting kit lenses. Now in this they built basically the innards of the GX7, which is itself one of the greatest Micro Four Thirds cameras, which to me really encapsulates what Micro Four Thirds is all about. You know, you've got this small sensor, and around it, but very high quality sensor, but around it you can build these cameras which are compact, and this is the epitome of Micro Four Thirds compact. It is the size of a compact camera, and yet it has a comparatively very large sensor for a compact in there. Built around the electronics innards, the sensor of the GX7, as I said, which is a fantastic camera. They could have made that forever. But in a tiny form factor, you've got all the features you could ever want. You've got all the modes, all the fast shooting rate. The image quality is fantastic from this, and so is the video quality. You've got really high quality video. It's not 4K. It does go up to 1080p, a high definition. So you haven't got the super high quality that you now have 4K, but as a working kind of web camera, maybe a vlogging camera or whatever, or just as I use it as a video camera for doing small interview clips, it's great. Even though it hasn't got a microphone socket anywhere on it, the microphones are these two tiny holes at the top here. So you do have to be aware of where the sound is coming from and the clarity of the sound, and wind noise. Oh my goodness, that's a problem, but it's for all video making. You have this tiny neat little camera, and the great thing is if you're saying to someone, can you do a video, and they're not really expecting, you know, they're just Joe Public or a news scene or someone, this is so unintimidating. You hold it up and they can see you, and they're not really talking to a big camera with, I'm talking to my GH3 at the moment, which feels like a much bigger camera. This is just an unintimidating little camera, yet really good quality. You've got the pop-up flash, which works like so, and has the ability to just bring it with your finger, and hey presto, it bounces. It's a very low power flash. Don't expect to light up entire rooms with it, but as a little bit of fill-in, or in a small room, just a bit of bounce, it gives a really nice light quality, and it's a great thing. Battery life, pretty good actually. It's a tiny battery, obviously, because it's only a little camera, so you've only got this little, which model is this? The, I can't read, the writing's too small. There, a small Lumix battery anyway. So you've got this tiny little battery in it, but you know, you've got enough in there for, you know, easily a day's shooting, something like that. It works really well with that. I just carry two. You know, the thing is, why do people complain about battery life on digital cameras? If you're like me, you come from film, I used to carry 10 rolls of film. Now I carry this and a couple of batteries, and the 2 batteries are the same size as 1 roll of film. So you've really got no issue. I don't know why people complain about that. You know, it's photography. You have to change things. You may have to change your card when you've taken 1,000 shots, and you'll have to change your battery maybe once or twice a day. No big deal. So one of the things, when I first used the little GM-1, to be honest, I didn't like it. It was too small. It was really tiny. It was at a street photography course run by Damien de Mulder. Thank you very much. Excellent courses if you see him do those. And my thumb kept catching the screen at the back, which is, with your thumb there, you can, being a touch screen, the handy thing is you can control. You can actually. The handy thing is you can use it to move focus points, but you'd be shooting and touch the screen, and it'd be a bit annoying. So I found it at first too small, but actually the lure of buying one was too much. Having this tiny camera, micro Four Thirds, which can take all the lenses. So I bought one at a special deal at Photography Show. This one. Handling wise, I fitted. The camera will pick it up there. A flip back little silicone grip from a company called Flipback, just self-adhesive, and that absolutely transforms the handling. It comes in, gives you a finger grip there to really get a good hold of it, and that really transformed it. Also meant you weren't gripping quite so much with your thumb at the back and potentially touching the screen. The other thing I found very handy, although the ability to move focus while you're working, while you're shooting, particularly with video, is great. I locked down the touch screen, so it's no longer the touch operative function is turned off, and that means I've got no problem with touching the screen on the back. Which in the camera this size is quite handy. It's a very simple thing to turn the touchscreen back on again, though. And then this ability on the Lumix and mirrorless cameras to move the focusing spot around with your thumb is great. I mean, when I use my Nikons now, they feel a bit like dinosaurs because you have to press a wheel on the back. So you've got this great function. So image quality, absolutely fantastic. It is the 16 megapixel sensor. That has served Panasonic so well for some years, but it's absolutely spot on. It continues now in the GX80-85 without the aliasing filter, so it's still a very contemporary sensor, excellent for use. Other things I really like, you've got the art filter functions, and the one I like is dynamic monochrome, which gives a really punchy look. You've got all sorts of custom modes you can set up on this. It doesn't shoot panoramic, which is a bit of a shame. That's fun, but it's not a deal breaker. After all, the best panoramics are shot in separate pictures and then stitched together in Photoshop or whatever. So it's no big deal. The main thing is it's incredibly small, incredibly quiet. It is just, there we go, really, really quiet. That's the electronic shutter. Hear that? It's just, and that's on 1 notch. It's so smooth and quiet. It's fantastic. Let's take a picture of myself, filming myself. There we go. So all in all, there we have it. My very kind of random, rambling rundown of the Lumix GM-1. A discontinued little wonder. Really, you should keep a lookout for one of these. They are fantastic little things. Now it's replaced by the GM5, which I think also may be discontinued, which has a little electronic viewfinder. Did I miss the viewfinder? Not really. It's a compact camera. You take it for what it is. It has a screen. You move up to a slightly larger camera for a viewfinder, which I have with the GX80. It's just a fantastic pocketable camera, really high quality. I'm really pleased with this camera. Unfortunately, it's off to a new owner now, as I've now got the GX80. I hope they have a great time with it. I'm almost sort of missing it before I put it in a parcel, but there we go. That's trading and buying new kit. Really worthwhile looking out for them. Thanks very much for looking in. I hope you've enjoyed this little ramble. My first kind of attempt at this kind of thing. I hope to do some more. And if you like it, please do a like down there and feel free to subscribe. I hope to come up with some more videos which may interest you. Until then, goodbye.